2 News Works for You starts right now.
Every hospital in the country needs to be ready to diagnose Ebola.
Is Green Country ready if the outbreak spreads here? 2 News working tonight with team coverage on the deadly Ebola outbreak. We'll have more live from the Tulsa Health Department on preparedness coming up in just a few minutes. First, though, want to get you to a story that's happening brand new at 5 o'clock. It involves Hilti North America just announcing hours ago that it is relocating its Tulsa-based North American corporate headquarters, the test lab and repair services and distribution center, all of that going to the Dallas-Fort Worth area. The company's current Tulsa facility will transition to the organization's operations center in June when that move is finished. Now, Hilti is offering relocation packages to 250 employees. 425 jobs will be staying right here in Tulsa. The company says the move's still about 9 months away. Joining us now live with more on the impact here in Tulsa is 2 News reporter Joe Hinkie. Joe?
Well, Russ, a Hilti spokeswoman just told me that this decision comes after more than a year of planning. But today at the North American headquarters, 250 employees first learning of the move to the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Now, any employee offered a relocation package by Hilti who chooses not to take it, I'm told, will instead be offered a severance package. And they are also welcome to apply for any position remaining here in Tulsa. Positions staying here include customer service and finances. The president of Tulsa's regional chamber tells me this is something they did not see coming, and it is saddening given the company's nearly 35-year history here in Tulsa.
It's certainly frustrating. It's a company that we recruited here. The Tulsa Chamber took the lead back in 1978, 1979 to go to Liechtenstein, to take a German interpreter, to put our sales pitch together in German. And to go lure the North American headquarters here.
Now, the reason for the move, Hilti looking to expand in the construction industry. The North American CEO releasing this statement today with $26 billion in construction in Dallas, relocating our test lab and repair services and distribution operations within the Metroplex strengthens our ability to enhance our coverage in this marketplace and throughout Texas. And even though Mike Neal with the Tulsa Chamber tells me that this move is frustrating and saddening, coming up on 2 News at 6, the reason he remains optimistic about business and the economy here in Tulsa and the surrounding area. Live in East Tulsa tonight, Joe Henke, 2 News Works for You.
All right, Joe, thanks. We have some breaking news coming into the newsroom right now. I want to check in with 2 News anchor Stephen Romo. He has the latest details. Stephen?
Yeah, Russ, we're learning about a possible stabbing at the port of Catoosa right now. It happened moments ago on Bird Creek Avenue. The details just now coming into the newsroom. Right now, we know Rogers County is responding to the possible stabbing at the port. We have a crew headed to the scene, and we'll update you as we learn more.
All right, Stephen, thanks. We're going to continue to follow that. Meantime, now to a 2 News crime alert. Sapulpa police are searching for a suspect in a deadly stabbing. This one, they say, was a love triangle that turned to murder. 2 News reporter Liz Bryant is following that story. She has more on how detectives say the suspect did it. Liz?
Well, Russ, investigators say a jealous ex-girlfriend took a knife right to the heart of her competition outside the Interstate Inn here in Sapulpa. Right now, Sapulpa police are working with Enid police and also Woodward police because they believe that the accused killer is making a run for it out west. Medical supplies are strung out on the sidewalk where paramedics try to save a 21-year-old girl caught in the middle of a love quarrel. It happened in front of Ray Lambert's motel room.
I've done everything I could. You know, I'm the one that called 911, got them out here, but I knew she was dead before they picked her up.
24-year-old Dicey Poor is on the run, and police say Poor sent her ex-boyfriend a text message to come outside about 8:20 last night. Ultimately, police say that she stabbed the new girlfriend, Lindsay Hodge, with a folding knife. The same knife the ex gave her as a present.
They get a patrol through here at night, starting about 9 o'clock when it starts getting dark. If they run through here, just make an appearance. Everything will be cool.
Now the 24-year-old could go back to prison. Dicey spent 3 years there already for using a fake prescription, kidnapping, and assault and battery. Now, I just checked in with Sapulpa police. They are still searching for Poor. As I said, they are looking out in the west portion of Oklahoma. I also found out that the boyfriend lives here at this motel. Live in Sapulpa, Liz Bryant, 2 News Works for You.
All right, Liz, thanks. We have the latest now on the deadly Ebola outbreak. We learned just within the last hour that a patient at a University of Kansas hospital, lab results are back, and that person does not appear to have Ebola at this time. There are more lab results being tested by the CDC. Those should come back within about 2 days, some more results coming back. But at this time, it appears that a patient in Kansas does not have Ebola. Some good news there. Meantime, the Dallas area nurse who contracted Ebola while treating patient Thomas Duncan says in a statement that she's doing well. Nina Pham got a blood transfusion yesterday from American Ebola survivor Kent Brantley. The CDC says it's still working to determine how Pham became infected.
A single infection in a healthcare worker is unacceptable. And what we're doing at this point is looking at everything we can do to minimize that risk.
Officials are actively monitoring 76 Dallas hospital workers who may have had contact with Thomas Duncan or his blood, but the CDC director says, as you just heard from him, says it does not mean that there are any of those people were directly exposed to the virus. Right now, none are showing symptoms. We'll continue to watch that. Oklahoma leaders say they're not taking any chances when it comes to Ebola. The governor held a meeting. Tulsa Mayor Dewey Bartlett attended that meeting to talk about preparedness. 2 News anchor Stephen Romo has been talking with the mayor. He has more now on the plans for preparedness. Stephen?
Yeah, Russ, the main point that Dewey Bartlett was emphasizing, the risk of Ebola here in our area is low. He also says our local hospitals and health department are now better prepared after those cases in Texas. Bartlett says Monday's meeting was organized quickly because leaders recognize the kind of fear that Ebola is causing, but he says the panic is not warranted. Does it keep you up at night thinking about Ebola here?
No, it doesn't really, because I feel very confident that in this country, that certainly in Oklahoma, if something were to happen, we'll react to it in a very, very quick way. And it's a total different situation in the United States versus what happened in Western Africa.
Now, I also asked Bartlett about how some budget cuts for smaller community clinics could affect the spread of infectious disease. He says our local hospitals and the health department are all working closely together and are ready to isolate patients as needed. In the 2 News Center, I'm Stephen Romo.
All right, Stephen, thanks. And now that Ebola is in the U.S. and just one state away in Texas, first responders are taking it seriously. Tulsa firefighters doing a refresher course today, making sure they're ready for anything.
It's a new situation. Okay, so there's always a little bit of apprehension.
Tulsa firefighters train for communicable disease exposure all year long, but today's a little different.
Right now, with all of the press that the Ebola problem is getting, we're just going to do a refresher online for our guys to make sure we're all on the same page.
With Ebola now in Texas, everyone's on high alert. Crews are making sure they're ready.
A lot of the secondary exposure, maybe nursing staff in Dallas, a lot of the recommendations by CDC are that we need to make sure that we take off our protective clothing effectively as well.
Then when you zip it up, get everything on the inside here.
Tulsa firefighters showed us the procedures they go through. They also explained about the suit itself.
They give us these, which is supposed to purify the air.
And once that suit is on, it's taped and sealed. But these days, there's new emphasis on how the suit is removed. Crews roll the suit down, making sure there's no cross-contamination.
The suit gets deconned and washed off before they ever touch it.
Then I took a turn trying on the suit. It is lightweight and it goes on fast. Even with the mask, I didn't feel claustrophobic. In fact, I felt safe.
Well, putting it on is not too hard. It's taking it off where people have to be really careful. That's why they do it in teams, to make sure everybody's decontaminated.
First responders say they're going to measure their responses and walk the line, making sure they're safe, but don't unnecessarily frighten the public.
We don't want everyone showing up in a hazmat suit for every runny nose, but yet we have to protect our responders effectively.
Tulsa firefighters have been through hazmat training twice already this year. Today, just a good reminder for all the steps that they should go through just to make sure they stay safe. Now, going in depth now, a new poll shows that many Americans are not satisfied with President Obama's response to the Ebola outbreak. According to a Washington Post ABC News poll, 43% of those asked disapprove of the president's response. 41% said that they approve of the administration's handling of the situation. 16% had no opinion. Now, most of those people who responded to the poll, 91%, said that they hope for stricter enforcement for people coming into the United States from those West African countries where Ebola has been found. And starting on Thursday, 4 airports are going to do that. Customs and health officials at Washington, Chicago, Atlanta, and Newark, New Jersey will begin taking temperatures from passengers from the 3 West African countries. Similar screening started Saturday at New York's Kennedy International Airport. We checked with Tulsa International Airport, and they said at this time they do not have any plans to start screening here. Coming up a little bit later, I talked with an expert from the Tulsa Health Department about preparedness for the Ebola outbreak. We'll have that interview coming up again in just a couple of minutes. A murder suspect is laid to rest today, and the killer is still on the loose. 2 News anchor Brianne Palmerini has more now from the services in Sapulpa.
Funeral services for 24-year-old Christian Shockley here in Sapulpa at this chapel today. I spoke with her mother this morning. She says her daughter was a kind and caring person, and she wants people to be remembering her for the good things in her life. She's leaving 3 sons behind. Christian was shot less than a week ago at a Tulsa apartment complex. Now, police say that suspect, 34-year-old Eric Williams, is Christian's ex-boyfriend, and the two only recently broke up. I spoke with Tulsa police today. They say they are still searching for him. He may have skipped town, and they say he should be considered armed and dangerous. But Christian's mother, Angela, has a message for Eric.
But Eric, I need to know. I need to talk with you. I need you to do the right thing, son. It's not going to go away.
Now, anyone with any information about this crime is encouraged to call Crime Stoppers right now. That number, 918-596-COPS. In Sapulpa, Brianne Palmerini, 2 News works for you.
Hi, Brianne. Thanks. Just to clarify, the murder suspect still on the loose. We will continue to follow that story. Well, we are learning some new information tonight about the accident on the IDL last night when concrete fell from a bridge to the road below. First, the woman's car, who was damaged, is now in fair condition. Since our breaking news coverage last night on 2 News at 6, we also learned that the car on Archer Street Bridge ran into the guardrail, which broke the concrete loose. Tonight, coming up on 2 News at 6, we'll tell you how significant the damage to that bridge is, plus what ODOT found when they went to inspect it today. 2 News Chief Meteorologist Brett Anthony has a traffic alert for us right now. Let's check in with him in the studio for an update on that. Brett?
Hey, Russ, and good afternoon, everyone. Right now we have an accident down in Bixby, South Tulsa on Memorial, and that one is causing quite a few problems here. It's got the road almost down to some closed or traffic moving along very slowly. That's both accidents, or at least both lanes of Memorial. And then there's some other slower traffic up here on Interstate 244 eastbound. It's down to about 44 miles an hour. And that is all we have going on right now around the city of Tulsa. Let's take a look at our forecast here for tonight. And right now it's windy outside with lots of sunshine. Wind gusts have been around 22 miles an hour. Tulsa, about 29 miles an hour. That's a wind gust there around Muskogee at 28 miles an hour. Temperatures right now, 71 in Tulsa, 69 Okmulgee, Muskogee also at 69, McAllister, a warm 72. Look at the temps here. As we head towards sunset, we fall to 68 by 6 p.m. We're into the upper 50s by 10 p.m. We have a chilly night ahead. In fact, some of us are going to see the upper 30s. We'll go over those details in your Storm Shield forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, Brett, nice out here right now. We can tell you that. Want to let you know we're following breaking news still. A stabbing at the Port of Catoosa. We'll continue to follow that situation. Also, what happens if the deadly Ebola outbreak happens here? Are people prepared? We have an interview here from the Tulsa Health Department coming up right after the break. We'll see you then.